Podcasting tip. Always secure your power cables. I've been on a couple of different podcasts where the power cable comes disconnected. Luckily, the gear still recorded to the card, but make sure your power cables are always secure, but out of the way.
Start small. Believe in yourself and what you have. Don't think that a microphone is going to make you any better.
Right.
Don't think because you have better gear is going to make you any better. It's all about what you got and what can you bring to the table.
Yeah.
And it's like if you're sharing it among friends and families.
Podcasting tip or trick, whenever you are using a podcast, always, this is right here with the filmmaker, so always use video. I don't care if you're going to film the whole thing in video, film part of it in video, make a clip, because the number one way that people are discovering podcasts is through clips. I go in and I speak to kids in classrooms of STEM classes. They'll invite me to come talk about podcasting. I come in, there's 30 kids, and I say, how many of you listen to podcasts? 2 out of the 30 will raise their hand. And I'll say, well, how many of you have watched clips of podcasts on TikTok? Every single one of them.
Yep.
That's how they're consuming the media. That's how they're finding out about your shows. Use clips, short clips.
I started my podcast manually because I wanted to learn everything and relearn everything from the ground up. So I manually edited my trailer in GarageBand, and it took me 15 hours to produce 15 minutes because I was a perfectionist. A friend gave me the script, and then later I went to Riverside to use AI for the transcription so that I could edit with text, and it saved me a million hours.
Make sure whatever you pick, you really love. Because you're going to have to stick with it for a while if you want the podcast to continue. So if you pick a subject you don't actually like or you only kind of like, it's going to be a struggle from there because it's already a struggle with something you love.
So one of my podcasting pro tips that I like to share is to get on other podcasts as a guest to promote your own podcast. Because a lot of people don't do that, and I'm surprised to hear that.
My pro tip is that your first sell, especially if you're doing an interview-based show, is always to your guest. You need to have a clear premise, and you need to make the guest experience incredible so that they, one, really share the show when it goes live, and they're willing to recommend other people and come back on the show if the timing fits. I think selling it to them makes it easier to sell why they're important to listen to your audience. Really prioritizing the guest experience on your show, I think, makes for a good podcast first and foremost.
Amazing.
Definitely have your podcast on YouTube.
YouTube.
Video is going to be, a big thing going forward.
Yep, we are in YouTube Video Village after all.
I got some inspiration from that.
The biggest one is if your audience potentially is in YouTube, go down that path.
Okay.
And I would say when you do that, focus on your thumbnail and title and description. A lot of podcasters I see who go down the path of YouTube, they try to apply what worked for audio and say an episode graphic, but they don't apply that to YouTube. They maybe have a thumbnail that has a lot of text, or it's not the most dynamic thing. So I'd say if you're looking for a way to kind of make your show pop against, say, the Mr. Beasts of the world on YouTube, focus on that thumbnail a little more than you normally would, because your packaging is like the live or die for your show.
I would say my tip, if you're going to start a podcast, is consistency.
Yeah.
And have a niche. Don't just talk about anything and everything.
Right.
Really centralize what you want to talk about and slowly build your community.
I am a neophyte at this, so I am still learning. But I do come from media background, so I will say one of the things that in doing the interviews that we've already recorded, the biggest thing is listen actively when you are in the interview. Don't just keep thinking about what you want to say next or what the next question is going to be, but really be in there with the person and the more engaged you are, the more that the person is going to forget that they're being interviewed.
Yeah.
When the guest is talking, you're listening for a couple things. One, did they answer the question that I asked? Sometimes they'll just go off on their own thing, and you're like, but the listener is still thinking, what's the answer to that question?
Yeah.
Come back and say, that was really interesting. What would you say about this? And kind of ask it in a different way. And if they say something that is a word your audience maybe doesn't know, ask them, when you said that word, just for those who aren't aware, define that for us. So you're always thinking about the audience.
Yeah.
Stay original. I never try to, bring out a character that's not me. I never try to be like somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I look at different podcasts, I still try to bring me out of there. So
Yeah.
I try to stay original and organic,
Mhm.
and that's what keeps me afloat.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, you get another stamp. Good job.